Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 73 of the Talking the Line podcast. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your day to come and kick it with the crew on this beautiful Monday of bets. Now, before we talk some lines for you today and dive deep into the value that we found across today's MLB slate, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL pod. If you are on YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell as well so you never miss the start of a live show. But if you are listening on your favorite podcast directory to the audio recorded version, make sure you hit subscribe there as well, as we do always release the audio promptly following the live show. Next item up here on the docket, if you could also be so kind and have a few extra seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, leave us a comment below, leave us a rating, all that good stuff. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make TTL Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. And last but not least, head on over to this episode's description where you will find the Talking the Line link tree. Within that link tree, you can locate all of the TTL crew's content so you can consume it however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful gambling people, joining us on today's show, I am your humble host, Colt 45 Sroka. And once again, thank you so much for choosing to hammer in some bets and run some tickets to the window with the TTL crew today. We hope you had an amazing July 4th. Let's get this show on the road here today, and let me bring in my partner, the co-host of the TTL pod, a young man who had a very relaxing weekend, dove deep into some appetizers on Saturday and Sunday, and found himself promptly passed out on the couch afterwards. He is refreshed. He is ready to go, and I'm not going to hold him back any longer. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, I'm feeling great. You nailed it. I am refreshed and ready for this week to kick off. Had myself a nice little 4th of July weekend. Nothing too crazy, but you know exactly what we needed. Little handful of beers, nothing over the top.
Absolutely.
Maybe a few too many appetizers, as you mentioned. Might have gone over the top on those, but, you know, we're here, and I'm feeling fantastic.
Hey, we're here. How you doing? Keep it moving. Well, I had a pretty swell July 4th myself. Caught some fireworks from my balcony. Nice. Didn't have to go anywhere, and just so happened that my entire condominium complex is basically a breeding ground for amateur firework letter offers. So till about 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning, we were still hearing boom, bang, and pow at about a 5-second per clip rate.
Yep.
You're in the city, pal. How was it?
About right. Oh, yeah.
About the same?
About the same, yeah. My neighborhood is actually on a almost daily basis in the summer. Not quite 4th of July level, but I get fireworks actually almost every single night of every single day.
Okay.
So last night, as you mentioned, pretty, I think
par for the course.
Yeah, pretty par for the course on a 4th of July. So maybe my neighborhood migrated over to you and, gave a little bit of our taste to,
maybe they decided to come settle down in the burbs. Who knows what the hell happened there?
Yeah, luckily I'm a heavy sleeper. Otherwise, I would have been pretty similar up until 2 a.m.
Yeah, I am not, however. So definitely got me, but nothing that a good little bit of caffeine can't fix, ladies and gentlemen. Toss the Joe back and get ready to rock and roll. Outside of that, pretty solid weekend of sports we had on tap. It's getting to that time of the year, boys and girls, that number one, you need to have somebody you can trust when it comes to making picks. We are getting out of the NBA, we are getting out of the NHL, and there's going to be a little bit of a lull before we get into college football and the NFL once again. So you got to have somebody you can trust, i.e. us two.
You mean you're not confident in our Olympic capping
ability? Who the hell knows there? We'll see what happens when the Olympics roll around, but it's definitely going to be a little bit of a lull, so we're getting into that time of the year, folks. Don't you worry. The TTL crew is going to keep pumping out nothing but winners, nothing but tickets that we can meet you at the window with promptly around 10 or 11 o'clock every single evening at Central Standard Time, that is. We're still here. We're still moving. We're still grooving. So make sure you keep coming around, and we'll keep ranting and reacting to anything we find out there. We got the feelers out there. We got the eyes wide open, especially during this little bit of dead time. But don't you worry, the TTL pod is still going to be electrifying. So without further ado, today's show is a banger. We got 7 best bets coming at you today. 11 games on the MLB slate and 1 NHL game. We have all MLB best bets. We liked a couple. You know me with my Habs in the NHL. Was toying around with the total. Might have a play on it later. For right now, we're sticking into the MLB. Told you got 7. Then, moving into today's special play of the day. If you've been here before, you know what Monday brings. It's a Monday Madness Parlay. This week we got 3 legs coming at you. All 3 of them as well are MLB legs. And this bad boy's paying out at plus 529 odds. So make sure you lock that sucker in ASAP. $20 burning a hole in your pocket. Going to return you a nice $100 bill. And I am very confident we start the week off hot when it comes to special plays. Moving right along to the third and final segment of the betting portion of the show. Moneyline Dice stopping by their usual episodic role. You know how it goes. Tonight, targeting the matchup between the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Angels. Tightest game on today's slates. We're taking our analysis out of it and leaving it in the hands of the all-knowing Dice. In the Dice we trust. You know the deal. After we get through all of that, once we recap the best bets of the day, we will shut down the betting half of the show and then move right along into the second half of the show. You know what it is. Rants and reactions. We got Olympics to talk about. We got MLB to react to, and we got NFL to rant on, amongst many other things. So stick around for the second half of the show to hear our hot takes and everything in between from the world of sports and sports gambling. And then closing out the show today, my friends, my Motivation Minutes, giving you a message and reminding you on slowing down. And I got a little story experience that I went through yesterday that I want you guys to listen up, take to heart, and hopefully you can start applying it in your life. So there you go. Make sure you stick around for the very end of the show. Get you a little extra inspiration, motivation, get you through this Monday and on into the week. But for now, cut all the drama, cut all the nonsense, stop all the banter that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get. We know why you come here, but I'll say it again anyway, for the stone cold locks and running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to officially kick off episode number 73 of the TTL pod with the first segment of the day. Here it comes. Here it goes. Time to move right on down the tracks with the money train, ladies and gentlemen. TTL Crew's best bets of the day. The first half of the first segment. RMags, best bets of the day. Told you guys in the intro, he's refreshed. He's seeing the lines good. We both had decent weekends, nothing crazy, but enough to pad up those bankrolls to where we are ready to hammer home some doggone bets today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I know this man has some serious value coming at you. He's got 3 picks in total, and maybe some picks you might not see from him all so often. Very, very, very intrigued what he has to lay down. I have already locked in all 3 of his best bets of the day, so I suggest you get out your sports books, get ready to hammer these bad boys in. And as always, partner, You have the floor.
Alrighty, as always, I appreciate it. So for my first bet of the day, I'm going to the National League matchup between the Atlanta Braves versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm going Atlanta Braves on the run line, -1.5, with Max Fried on the mound for the Braves versus Chase DeYoung for the Pirates. Now, Max Fried, 4.16 ERA, in my opinion, much better than his ERA would suggest. He had a few inflated first few starts of the season, first 3, I believe. Then he promptly went on IL, and he's been solid ever since. 3 earned runs over his last 12 innings pitched. That's the last 2 starts, and both of them 2 big wins for the Braves. And now he's facing a Pirates team that snapped their 6-game losing streak yesterday, but it was a lowly 2-0, at least offensive performance by them. They are now 1-6 straight up and against the run line in their last 7. And during those 7 games, they have not scored more than 2 runs. So that offense is freezing cold. And this Pittsburgh offense themselves versus Max Fried in their career, 119 batting average, 154 OBP. So Max Fried, needless to say, dominates them when he sees them. And this Pittsburgh offense, to keep it hammering home, last 10 versus lefties, 213 batting average, 2.45 runs per 9. So that really, at least numbers-wise, illustrates why they can only score 2 runs per game. And now you got Chase DeYoung on the mound for the Pirates, and I think it's going to get back to an offensive barrage for the Pirates' opponent here. He's got a 5.65 ERA, 9 earned runs over his last 2 starts, and the Pirates have lost each of his last 4 starts. And now you're getting a Braves team that's kind of trending up right now, not tearing the cover off the ball, not the most high-powered offense right now, but they're still, like I said, trending up. Last 5 versus right-handers, 372 OBP and 6.75 runs per 9. So I'm really liking this Braves team, especially with a very favorable pitching matchup for their own side of things against a nice cold offense. And lastly, to hammer it home here for their bullpens, Braves last 10, their bullpen ERA 2.57, while the Pirates last 10, 4.95. So I love this Braves team to handle one of the coldest offenses in the league, partner, and cover that run line -1.5.
You know what, partner, but they do not. This was actually also one of my best bets of the day. I kindly conceded it to my partner because he only had 3 best bets that he really liked, but I am equally as high on this one as you are. I think Max Fried, after some early season struggles, is going to have a great game today. He actually walked it off last night for the team. Pitcher walking it off. He gets that mojo going into today's game. I absolutely love it, and I have already hammered in the Braves -1.5. Thank you, sir. First best bet of the day coming from RMags. Keep it moving, keep it grooving, right on down the tracks. Best bet number 2 of the day.
All right, number 2, going over to the AL now. We've got Tigers versus Rangers. Partner and I both have plays out of this game, have some similar opinions in certain spots, a little bit differing in little other spots here, but we're both on the same, we're both backing each other here. And we've got Willie Peralta on the mound for the Tigers versus Colby Allard, and I am going over 9 runs in this game. Colby Allard, 3.46 ERA, began the season in the pen, now is making his 7th start in that starting rotation. And he's actually facing a team that is as sneaky as they come right now. Last 10 versus lefties for the Tigers, 294 batting average, 377 OBP, and 9.18 runs per 9. They are a stingy team right now. They have scored at least 5 runs in 4 of their last 5 games. Only my man Lance Lynn was able to hold them down over the weekend to 2 runs. And on the flip side, you've got Willie Peralta with a 3.21 ERA over 4 appearances. This will be his 4th start on the season. He's gone 0 earned runs over his last 7 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's been pretty solid for this Tigers team, but in my opinion, and this is kind of where my partner and I differ here, I see a little bit of regression here. 32-year-old has been in the league for quite a while now. He's got a career 4.49 ERA. He did not pitch in 2020, and in 2019, over 42 relief pitches, he threw a 5.80 ERA. So I kind of see a little bit of regression closer to that bigger number here. However, Texas not quite as hot as Detroit. 4 runs in their last, Texas, 4 runs in 7 of their last 9 games. So their offense is still putting up some runs, but not quite as high as this Tigers team. I do like the Tigers in this game, but I don't quite trust Willie Peralta enough to take them as one of my own best bets. And I like that Tigers offense to stay real hot here and I don't want to say cover the total themselves, not going double digits necessarily, but I think they cover this load plenty enough for the total between the two, partner. What do you think?
Absolutely. Once again, I've already hammered this one home. Yeah, we're a little differing on Willie Peralta. Sounds to me like you're super low on him. You think he's going to get mashed around all over the ballpark. I don't think he gets mashed around that much, but yes, I think it'll be a shootout. I don't think he's going to get mashed around for 7-8 runs. Kind of sounds like what you're thinking, but you might have an idea of where I'm at in this matchup for one of my best bets. So, with that being said, RMags' second best bet of the day. He is taking the over 9 runs in the Detroit Tigers versus Texas Rangers. Third best bet coming right up, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Number 3, coming back out of a interleague matchup here, we've got the Reds versus the Royals. And I like the Royals in this game, but I don't trust Mike Minor on the mound for them quite enough. So I am going for their team total over 4.5. Reds are putting out Vladimir Gutierrez on the mound, right-hander, and I talked about him last week, actually. He is coming out with a 4.93 ERA, 1.40 whip, but a 5.4 ERA over June starts, and he has gotten increasingly worse. One of those guys that I said, young guy coming up in his first season, comes out strong in his first few starts, and then as the tape comes out on him, the guys start to see him a little bit more, gets increasingly worse and worse, and that is the exact case that we have here. 4.1 innings pitched last time out, 6 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 home runs, and 3 walks. So it's not just the hits, the walks are coming too, and the command is off. And he's facing a Royals team who, despite them losing some games, they're still putting up some runs here against the non-ace pitchers that they see. They faced a lot of really solid pitchers here. They took 2 of 3 from the Twins this last weekend, scoring at least 6 in each of those 2 wins. So I like that offense to take care of business here. I like it against Vladimir Gutierrez himself, but even if we get into that bullpen, I like the Royals to put up a couple there and at least cover the 4.5, if not go another 6-7 runs here in this one. So I don't have too much more on this one, but I love the Royals to put up a handful of runs on Vlad here today.
I am almost exactly right there with you, partner. I didn't really know what to make of Mike Minor. Right. Overall, the Reds have hit him really well in his career. However, they are struggling a little bit against lefties. I don't really know, but it does appear to be the safest bet that the Royals are going to put up some runs today against Vlad Gutierrez. And then if they do get into that bullpen at any point in time, which we both believe they will, it'll go way over that 4.5. 4.5 on DraftKings, 5 on FanDuel, right around in there. So whatever you're finding it at, the 5, you're getting a little bit better odds. And I personally believe it goes over 5 as well. So third best bet of the day coming from the great, the all-powerful RMags. Team total for the Kansas City Royals, over 4.5 or 5, whatever you're finding it on your favorite sportsbook right now. There you go. There you have it. 1, 2, and 3 best bets coming from RMags today, my friends. Let's keep this show going down the road, huh? What do you say here? For the second half of the first segment of episode number 73 on July 5th, 2021, it's time to rock and roll. Here we go. My best bets of the day. Now, I told you just a little while ago, we got 7 best bets for you. RMags had 3, so that obviously means I got 4. I have 4 totally separate games, not going any first 5, any run lines, any back and forth, any this or that. I am not going any risk. I am seeing the lines. I am going to tell you what I believe these lines should be at and why I'm finding the value. We are going to cook at laser speed here, ladies and gentlemen. So you better get ready. Once again, if you don't have them out or you just happen to close them out in between the first portion of the first segment here, get those sports books out again. Get ready to hammer these bad boys home. And here we go with my first best bet of the day, going to the matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. And I am taking the San Francisco Giants, my boys, -1.5 for the full game. Couple of key reasons why I am taking this play. One of them is the pitching matchup. So you have Kwang Young Kim on the mound for the Cardinals and Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Giants. You guys know me. I have been super high on Gausman all year long. He's coming off of that one bad outing in his last one against the buzzsaw that has been the Los Angeles Dodgers offense. However, only gave up 3 earned runs, and that is a bad game for Gausman. He has been so doggone good this season. He has allowed 1 earned run or less in 7 out of his last 10 7 starts overall, and he's actually been a money man at home. 5 starts for him overall. He's got a 3-0 record inside his home confines with a 123 opponent batting average allowed, 2.31 ERA, and he's done all of this beautiful work over 35 innings pitched. I believe those numbers only continue to improve today, and especially against the Cardinals, who have struggled mightily against righties on the road so far this season. 217 batting average, 287 OBP, and scoring a puny 3.97 runs per 9 on the road against right-handers. Now, as for Kim, he's not really a guy I believe you should be putting your money on, and I think that the Giants bats are going to have their way with him from the first inning. Now, he has had 6 road starts overall, 0-4 record on the road for Kim with a 269 opponent batting average allowed, 4.44 ERA, and he's done all that over only 26 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 3 earned runs or more in 4 out of his last 7 starts, and he can barely make it out of the 4th inning right now. Not to mention, San Francisco Giants are heating up against lefties in their last 5 overall, mashing the ball. 286 batting average, 359 on base percentage, and scoring right at 7 runs per 9 in their last 5 versus left-handed pitching. If all of that doesn't do it for you, a couple of key trends I absolutely loves here. I loves here. How about that? The Cards have scored 3 earned runs or less in 6 out of their last 10 games. They have won 5 out of their last 10 overall, but those 5 wins have come from less than subpar pitching against Chichi Gonzalez, Riley Smith, Caleb Smith, Justin Faria, and JT Brubaker. If you don't know some of those names, I'm not surprised, because those are the wins that they are getting, and a couple of those guys are rookie pitchers. So when it comes down to some of these dominant arms, the Cardinals are not getting the job done. Not to mention the Giants have scored 5 or more runs in 5 out of their last 10, and they're starting to bounce back in their last 3 games after being on that short little 4-5 game losing streak there. Last but not least, the Giants are 25-24 ATS as a favorite and 16-12 ATS as a home favorite. The Giants are 41-25 ATS on no rest, and the Cardinals are 36-34 ATS no rest. Last but not least, Giants 47-28 ATS with equal rest, and the Cardinals 38-40 ATS with equal rest. I think Gozman dominates from the jump here. I think Kim struggles from the jump here, and we see a quality 7-3, 7-4 victory out of the Giants here today. So my first best bet of the day, San Francisco Giants. I'm not afraid of the chalk because I make it even closer to about 130, minus 130, minus 140. San Francisco Giants, minus 1.5 for the full game.
I'll be right there with you, my man. I backed the Giants last night on the run line with DeSclafani on the mound. Similar situation where you still have to back these guys in some capacity, but those first 5s for the Giants have been a little bit trickier than they were for quite a while, and that run line's been pretty true so far. So
making adjustments. You see me? Look at me over here making adjustments, not making the same mistakes. Look at me go. All right, so there you go. First best bet of the day. Now, I told you also, I kind of have these lines predicted a little bit different than what they're at. I told you that one. I like it a little more closer to minus 130, minus 140, and you're getting it right around minus 110. Yeah. So when I see that much of a differential, I love it. Right. So there's my first best bet. Move it right along. Second best bet of the day, going on over to MetLife Stadium for the matchup between the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Metropolitans. And ladies and gentlemen, you might be surprised to hear me say this, but my partner was not. I am taking the New York Mets plus 1.5. Now, I know what you're thinking. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brewers. He's been dominant as all hell. What are you talking about? And the Mets are putting out Tyler McGill, who's a rookie. He's not that good. Well, let me tell you, there's a couple key things I'm looking at here that I think is going to loom large in today's matchup in New York. Woodruff, obviously, yes, he's been solid all season long, but he started to have a little bit of regression here, and I think we're going to start to see even more regression for him because this has been the best season of his career by far. He's been a consistent 3.5 to 4.5 ERA pitcher, even sometimes higher, maybe even into the 5s a couple seasons ago. So he really hasn't been this pitcher, and I don't want to say it's a fugazi, but I think he's a little less dominant than he has been so far. He's pitched a little lackluster, or pitched against a little lackluster offenses, and I think we start to see him struggle. His worst ERA yet this season was posted in June with a 3.30, so that's a little bit troubling, a little bit worrisome, but he hasn't faced the Mets this year. However, they have been exceptionally well against him in the past. In 23 at-bats, I know a small sample size, but 350 batting average, 492 OBP, and an 842 OPS. So I think they don't have any problems at the plate today. I think that Woodruff will be dominant to start, but you get through the second, third time in the order, and I think that these Mets are going to start to have some success. Now for Tyler McGill on the opposing bump, I don't know. I still don't know exactly what he is, but I think and I believe that this is exactly the spot that he needs to be in today. The Mets have actually won both of his starts, 4-3 and 7-3, against the Braves as they were heating up in the end of June and going into July here. So I love to see that. Not to mention his numbers are a little bit inflated just because they were some high run scoring games. He has pitched really doggone good, and I think he just has just enough to keep these Brewers off balance all day long because he hasn't faced them in his career or this year at all. So I like him to have a little bit of an edge here in the pitching matchup. But if you don't believe me on all of that, you think I'm crazy when it comes to Woodruff and McGill, a couple key trends I think you should know about. The Brewers 25-31 ATS as a favorite on the season and 9-12 ATS as a road favorite. The Mets are 22-10 ATS as an underdog and 6-2 ATS as a home underdog so far this season. The Mets are looking to make some moves right now, boys and girls. They are 43-37, first in the NL East for the first time in a long time, and they are looking good. Whereas the Brewers might be hitting a little bit of a rocky patch. Sorry to you Brewers fans out there, but they have rifled off so many doggone wins. At some point in time, a little bit of regression has got to come here. The Mets are 5-1 straight up in their last 6 versus the NL Central. They're 5-1 in their last 6 versus a team with a winning record. And historically, the Brewers have done well, but they haven't played since 2019, so I'm not buying into any of the historical numbers. We don't need them to win it outright, even though this seems to be a spot that the Mets do get the outright win. We just need to keep it within 1 run. So my second best bet of the day, New York Mets, plus 1.5 for the full game.
I'll be right there with you, my man. That Brewers team, they were clipping along, as you said. That offense was burning through teams. And now, I'm not saying they're going to put up a week's worth of goose eggs, but they put up a 0 spot yesterday, and we've kind of seen it from a handful of these teams that get scorching hot for 7 to 10 plus days. They go scorching hot, and then they kind of hit a wall for a few days, and it takes a few days for them to get back out of it. And I think that's where we're at here with the Brewers.
I do as well, my friend. Not saying a week full of goose eggs, but saying a week of different Brewers baseball and back to kind of what we've seen this season. So there you go. Second best bet of the day. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. How you doing? Third best bet of the day. Here we go. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not call me a homer. This is a very, very valuable play. Even my partner agrees with me, and he is a staunch Southsider. So, without further ado, you might know now, but my third best bet of the day is the Chicago Cubs first 5 money line. Now, why first 5 money line? Because it's the only time that the Cubs are seemingly able to win now. They can't get the job done. Once it gets to the 7th inning, we pull a bonehead play, and then the game goes out the window. But in the first 5, we're looking good as all hell right now. Not to mention Matt Moore on the mound for the Phillies, and our boy Zach Davies on the mound for the Cubs. Now, Matt Moore is not an arm that you need to be trusting at all. When he pitches, it is a pen day for the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen, and their bullpen ranks 25th in the MLB with a 4.80 ERA. If you don't like all of that, Moore has made it out of the second inning only 3 times in 10 starts this season, or 10 games pitched so far this season. He's had 4 official starts in those 10 games pitched, 293 opponent batting average, 361 opponent on base percentage, 1.67 whip, and a 5.79 ERA, all in only 23 1/3 innings. Cubs have actually done pretty well against him in their career so far. 45 at-bats, 225 batting average, 342 OBP, and an 836 OPS. If you don't like all of that, the left-handed pitching is the only thing the Cubs are hitting right now. They can't see right-handed balls to save their life. But in their last 5 versus lefties, they are 309 at the plate, 387 on base percentage, and scoring 6.08 runs per 9. So I like them to put up at least 2, 3, 4 here in the first 5 innings against the unproven arm of Matt Moore. I don't think he gets out of the second inning. I think we get 2 on him early, and then we get into that bullpen and light it up in this first 5. Now on the opposing bump, our man behind Zach Davies, I think he does more than enough to keep this Philadelphia team limited, even though they've been a little hotter at the plate. Zach Davies has had some really, really solid success against them in his career. He's faced them 68 times at the plate. They only have a 197 batting average against him with a 266 on base percentage and a pretty doggone pristine 619 OPS. So he has found some really good success against some of these damn dominant bats of this Phillies team. We all know they're dominant, but I think Zach Davies does just enough today. The Cubs are 3-2 straight up in the first 5 innings over his last 5 starts, and he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 7 out of his last 10. Closing out the pitchers there for Matt Moore, the Philadelphia Phillies are 0-4-1 straight up in the first 5 innings in his last 5 starts overall. Couple key final trends that I love here. The Phillies are 0-4 in their last 4 Monday games. You know me, homer for day of the week trends. Philadelphia is 4-10 in the last 14 meetings in Chicago, and Philadelphia has struggled pretty mightily on the road against righties this season. 209 batting average, 282 on base percentage, and a 3.41 runs per 9. So that lines up pretty accurately with how they've hit Zach Davies in the past. We don't need him to do it for the full game, ladies and gentlemen, because honestly, I don't have faith in the Cubbies to do it for the full game. We are on a losing streak and a half, but what I do have faith is for them to come out, play doggone hot for the first 5 to 6 to 7 innings, pull a bonehead play, and then lose the game. But they will be winning in the first 5 innings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cubby fan. I've watched it time in and time out again. So my third best bet of the day, Chicago Cubs, first 5, money line.
I'll be right there with you on this one, my man. There's just too many guys that hit Matt Moore a little too well, and I like Zach Davies today. Might have a prop of the day coming out of this one because your man Anthony Rizzo is the one guy who absolutely obliterates Matt Moore, so I might have something out of that, but I'll be right there with you on this one.
KB is pretty hot right now, too, so might want to peruse on around through there, but thank you, sir. You know it's a good bet when the Sox fan is riding with the Cubs fan, my friend. So there we go. Told you I had 4, got through 3. Now let's make it 4 and wrap my best bets of the day up. Let me check one thing here, folks. Make sure everything's rocking and rolling. Sure is. All right. My partner already made a play in this game, but I found a little bit more value, I do believe. And going back to the matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals, and I am taking the Detroit Tigers money line. I kicked around the plus 1.5, but this money line has some serious value. I make it a little closer to plus 110, plus 115, and you're getting it right around plus 140 right now. So I think this is the play to make out of this matchup. Now, much like my partner said, I think the Tigers are one of the sneakiest teams in the MLB right now. They have won 6 out of their last 10 games, with those wins coming against the White Sox, the Astros, the Indians, and the Cardinals. So teams that are pretty doggone good dominant teams. They're not winning against schlub teams, and I think they get it done against the Royals, who have been struggling. I think they put up enough runs, the Royals that being to
Rangers.
The Rangers. Talking Royals. Why am I talking Royals? The Rangers. You should have corrected me from the jump there.
That was the first time I heard it.
Oh,
so
maybe I said Rangers. Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers. I apologize. So Detroit Tigers money line. Let me get into the pitching matchup in case you guys are all confused right now. My fault, my apologies. Willie Peralta, you heard all of my partner's analysis. I think he is somewhat right. I think we're going to see a little bit of regression, but he has been pretty doggone good for the minimal time that we have seen him so far. He has allowed 0 earned runs in those 3 out of those 4 outings, and Detroit has won 2 of them, and almost won the 3rd against Houston. Barely lost it 3-2 in the very closing innings. So I think Willie Peralta does just enough here today. He might give up some runs, but I don't think he's going to give up any runs compared to Colby Allard. Colby Allard has not been good at all. Mediocre at best. He's allowed 2 earned runs or more in 5 of his last 6 starts. More like more. He has allowed 5 home runs in those last 6 starts, and Detroit's averaging about 1.10 home runs per game right now. Texas is 2-4 straight up in his last 6 home starts overall, and they're 1-5 straight up in his last 6 starts overall across the board. They have not been good when he's on the mound, and the Tigers are mashing lefties. If I didn't mention, Allard is a lefty, and the Tigers are lighting them up. At the plate, 333 batting average, 455 on base percentage, and scoring 13.00 runs per nine in their last 5 games versus left-handed pitching. If you don't like all of that, let me give you some key trends. Texas is 20-30 straight up after a loss, coming off that 4-1 loss last night to the Seattle Mariners with Chris Flexen on the mound. Happily backed the Mariners in that spot. Yeah. Texas is 33-47 straight up on equal rest. Detroit is 5-0 straight up after allowing 5 or more runs in their previous game, coming off of a 6-5 victory off of the White Sox yesterday afternoon. Detroit is 4-1 straight up in their last 5 versus left-handed pitching, and 8-4 straight up in their last 12 games overall. I think this line is a little bit too much underdog for me, and I think they're a little bit closer to plus 110, plus 115. So I will gladly be hammering in the Detroit Tigers to get a sneaky victory tonight against the Texas Rangers. So one final time, my fourth and final best bet of the day, Detroit Tigers, money line.
I'll still be right there with you despite what I was saying. I do, like you said, I like the Tigers to put up, simply more runs than the Rangers do on Willie Peralta. I do not like Colby Allard today. And that Tigers team, man, we both said it, they're sneaky, but I mean, they've got a positive record over their last 50 games, which many of you would not believe if you haven't been paying close enough attention. So it's definitely a team that you need to look at, especially when you're getting plus money on them. So
that is a fact, Jack.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you, partner.
Well, thank you, sir. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 best bets of the day now loaded through the screen into your ear holes and your eye holes, and now hopefully transferred into your sports books. Let's cash some damn tickets. All right, let's get these 7 bad boys to the window. I already have the broom out of the closet, dusted off, ready for a sweeping session. With all that being said, let's keep this show steaming right on down the tracks with the second segment of the day, the special play of the day. Already told you, but might as well one more time. The Monday Madness Parlay. So we got 3 legs coming at you. Actually, 2 of the legs we've already told you about, so we're stealing from our best bets to add to the parlay, and then we're going to take one that we both really, really liked based on the pitching matchup. So, partner, if you want to kick things off here with the Monday Madness Parlay, any leg you like, doesn't really matter. They're all right around the same time. Wherever you want to start, however you want to start it off, whatever you want to talk about, all up to you, my friend. The Monday Madness Parlay kickoff is on your shoulders today, and once again, you have the floor.
Okay. All right. I'm going to kick it off. I mean, we might as well just lay down what the couple that we've already got on this one. Taking the Braves minus 1.5 out of my best bets for this first leg out of the Monday Madness Parlay. Love Max Fried to handle the Pirates' ice-cold offense, despite breaking that losing streak yesterday. As I mentioned, the Brewers kind of coinciding with all of our picks here, the Brewers offense might be cooling on down, and that's what we saw yesterday against the Pirates, but that Pirates offense has shown no indications of heating up, and Max Fried absolutely handles them, no question about it. So I got no problem taking the Braves minus 1.5. If you're feeling dangerous, obviously not on the parlay here, feeling dangerous, I might go even juicier than that on my side picks. That's how much I love the Braves minus 1.5.
All right, with all that being said, the Braves minus 1.5 are the first leg of the day. Yeah, I'm actually might be interested in that as well. We'll see more than minus 1.5. But for the first leg, minus 1.5 Atlanta Braves. So that backwards, Atlanta Braves minus 1.5. Second leg of the Monday Madness Parlay. We're going back to my Cubbies. We're taking that selection from my best bets. We are taking the Chicago Cubs. First 5 money line. Not really going to tell you guys anything else. You know how I feel. I think Zach Davies gets the job done. I think Matt Moore has a little bit of a struggle bus writing session here today in the friendly confines, and I think we cash this one nice and easy. I'm looking nice 4-1, 4-0 first 5 win here.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot day in Wrigley, and that ball's going to be jumping off their bats.
Jumping. So there you go. There's the first 2 legs. It's a 3-legger. So the third leg on the Monday Madness Parlay, we're going back to the matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. We're not picking a side this time. Well, I guess we kind of are, but we're taking them to put up a bunch of runs. We're taking the San Francisco Giants over 4.5 runs. You're getting some pretty good odds on it, minus 106. I make that a little bit closer to minus 120, minus 130 for sure here today against Kim, and then anything that Cardinals bullpen wants to try and throw at the Giants offense right now. I don't think they're going to have any success regardless of who is on the bump against the Giants, so I I'm predicting about a 6-7, maybe even 8-run showing here tonight from the Giants. What about you, man?
Yeah, maybe not quite as 8-run confident as you are, but I don't think we have any problem with the 4.5 here. As you mentioned it, that bullpen is really what I've got my eyes set on if they can't get it done against Kim. So I'm be right there. 4.5, obviously, I'll be right there, but you know what I'm saying.
All right. So there you have it, the 3 legs on the Monday Madness Parlay. Now, I could tell them all to you again. I could recap them. I could tell you what the odds are, but why don't you just get out those sports books once again if you haven't had them out yet? Pull out your pens and paper if you got one of them kind bookies on the side, or however you take note of the TTL Crew's best bets of the day. Get ready, because they're about to be live on your screen for the first time for this week, July 5th, 2021. Our best bets of the day are now on your screen, coming to you live from the beautiful Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. That's right, I said Missouri. I'm from the South, ladies and gentlemen. If you could so kindly turn your attention to the left half of your screen here, you see RMags picks one more time with his 3 best bets of the day. He has taken the Atlanta Braves -1.5, the Detroit Tigers versus Texas Rangers over 9, and the Kansas City Royals team total over 4.5. 1, 2, 3. All right, just doing 1. He's not going to hammer it 3 times. There you go, my friend. All right, thank you. Now you're with. All right, now to the right side of your screen, Colts picks today. My best bets of the day. 4 coming at you. San Francisco Giants -1.5. New York Mets +1.5. Chicago Cubs first 5 money line, and the Detroit Tigers full game money line for my 4 best bets of the day. He's typically on it. I don't know if the man wielding the hammer remembers his job or not, but all below all of that, ladies and gentlemen, the the Monday Madness Parlay. It is a shit show right now on the best bets of the day. Here we go. 3 legs.
We're locked in.
Giants team total over 4.5. Atlanta Braves -1.5. Chicago Cubs first 5 money line. You parlay those 3 bad boys up, you're getting odds right around +529. Hammer it in, and we will get that bad boy to the pay window tonight. So get ready, get your hiking shoes on. We'll see you there about 10 or 11 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Don't forget those hiking shoes.
Don't forget those hiking shoes. It's just a little bit of a walk to the window. It's a little bit of a walk to the pay window. You got to start walking there now. I don't know where your pay window is. We'll meet you there, all right? However, there is all of our best bets of the day, the 7 best bets, and the special play, the Monday Madness Parlay, all live on your screen. Give you a moment just to check them out. Take a look. Get them hammered in. All right, time to move along. Here we go. Well, actually, first, why not? Hammer them home, lock them in, sprinkle a little bit of cheddar down, whatever you like to say. Just make sure you get the TTL Crew's best bets of the day. Put in on whatever the current best line is on your favorite sports book. All right, moving right along here. If you are watching live, you see some additional text here on the screen. Our good friends, the Moneyline Dice, are ready. They're here. They are in prime time. If you aren't watching, you do now know what those few letters on the screen are. So without further ado, let's move on from the best bets of the day and get into the 3rd and final segment of the betting portion of today's show, the Moneyline Dice roll of the day. Now, mentioned to you back on about 40 minutes ago at the top of the show that we were going to be rolling for the MLB matchup tonight between the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Angels, if you did not remember. While I'm getting things going here, partner, and I will get the screen set up for the viewing pleasure of our wonderful fans on the opposite side of that screen, could you please set the stage? Where are we playing at this evening? Who is the favorite? Who is the underdog? Or have the lines even really moved at all yet? And what's the total? Any additional storylines we should know about? Anything coming out? And once you get all through that, I'll see you and you here in just a little bit.
Alrighty, sounds good to me. So we've got the Red Sox and Angels in Anaheim tonight, 8:30 Central Standard Time on ESPN, the worldwide leader. And the Red Sox are rolling out Martin Perez versus Jose Suarez for the Angels. Perez coming in with a 4.04 ERA, 6-4 record. Suarez 3-1 with a 1.98 ERA. And Martin Perez, he's got a 4.04 ERA, but contrary to what you might believe, he has got a 2.1 ERA on the road over 6 starts. He's been actually cooking along lately, home or away. Last 3 starts, 2 earned runs or less in each of his 3. Red Sox have won all 3. So we're kind of leaning towards Red Sox, but still a little bit of a question mark. This Angels team has been playing pretty damn well lately. And as I mentioned, Jose Suarez, do not know much about this guy at all. He's a pretty young guy, 23 years old, and he is making his, it looks like his first start on the season. Not his first career start, but first start on the season. He's made 9 appearances so far, and as I mentioned, 1.98 ERA, 1.96 back in June. He went 5 1/3 in his last time out, 2 hits, 1 run to the Yankees. So this guy has proven himself so far. But we'll see what he's got today. And for these lines here, we got the Red Sox at -113 with the Angels +105. When we were making this pick, it was right around -110 both ways. So the movement is going towards the Red Sox in the favorite spot. On the run line, we've got Red Sox -1.5 at +140 with the Angels +1.5 coming in at -145. And that over-under is set at 10 runs. Public money and the money percentage here. Bet slips 65% for the Red Sox, 62% for the Red Sox on the money. And for that total, it's a little bit of a different story.
Sorry.
What?
I totally cut you off. I accidentally muted the mics instead of closing.
I was like, you only cut me off when you said sorry. What are we talking about?
it was just for a brief 5 seconds there. My apologies. Continue on, my friend. We're about ready to rock and roll if you got any closing final thoughts.
Okay, so it was just in case I was muted. Red Sox are getting the public bets percentage and the money. 65% of the bets on the Red Sox, 62% of the money on the Red Sox. And the total over under 10, 40 or 52% of the bets coming in on the over with 67% of the money coming in on the under. So big money coming in for the under. Well, a little bit of the public and bet percentage coming in for the Red Sox money line partner.
All right, so Boston is now flipped over to the favorite.
Yep, the undisputed favorite here.
All right, absolutely love it. Without further ado, I do apologize cutting you off, kind of scaring you there. I totally muted the mess out of you, and I was
sorry.
like,
I cut you off, and I was like, yeah, you only cut me off when you said sorry.
Yeah, you just cut me off. No shit. Kind of another one of those. Whew. All right, here we go. For the first time on this beautiful July 5th, 2021, today's Moneyline Dice segment of the day. The aforementioned all-knowing Moneyline Dice are now live on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Look at those beautiful dice. Always glistening in the TTL production studio lighting. Now, without further ado, you know the deal. You know the drill. Maybe you don't if you haven't been here before, but you're sure about to find out. You heard it at the top of the show. In the dice we trust, ladies and gentlemen.
Hot.
They cashed a -1.5 plus money ticket on a team that then flipped to +1.5 last week convincingly. They are now 29, 28, and 1 overall on the TTL pod. Might have to do a little unit tracking as well. Go back, see where we're at, because I think they are definitely positive money, even though 29, 28, and 1, because we have cashed some serious
juicy ones.
Serious juicy cashers. Enough talking these dice up. Let's let them work their magic. First roll, as always, home team, Los Angeles Angels, or away team, Boston Red Sox. We all will find out in a 3, in a 2, in a 1.
Home team.
Home team, Los Angeles Angels, say the dice. Not going with the popular opinion of the Red Sox. So for the second roll, are we going to take them on the money line? We're going to get some juice. Or are we going to take them +1.5? Just keep this bad boy close. The dice will let us know in 3, in 2, in 1. ATS it is.
All right.
I'll snag that for you, partner. All right. So the dices. Is that right? First selection.
No, it's not.
The dice. First selection is the Los Angeles Angels run line +1.5. Will we be doubling down? Are they going to have us re-roll because the lighting was a little bit off? Are we skipping all that nonsense and going right to the total? Once again, we all find out in a 3, in a 2, in a 1.
Oh, that's a re-roll. Dice coming out hot to start the week. Okay,
all
Dice.
right, and we did have a little interference, but No
Reroll.
problem. No problem. Reroll. Here we go.
Reroll.
We're just going to go hyperspeed this time. Don't need to tell you guys what's going on. You know the deal by now. First roll, home away. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Yep, computer interference.
No. Still the home team.
Home team again.
Still the home team, Angels.
I'm going to keep it a little lower instead of giving so much loft to it here. Home ATS once again. And for the wild card roll. 3, 2. Home ATS.
Yes, doubling down.
So the double down has happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Not that terrible of odds. Minus 145 on the plus 1.5 for the Angels. I don't hate it. You would expect it to be a little bit longer there for that run line, but not too terrible. Oh, maybe action was wrong. I think it might be more.
The dice have spoken! If you want to guaranteed take a ticket to the window tonight, hammer in right here, right now. For the first time, you heard it on episode number 73 of the TTL pod from our good friends, the Moneyline Dice. Los Angeles Angels, run line, plus 1.5.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice. Oh, man, look at these guys just glistening.
They look great. The Dice are wanting me to say something. Make sure you check for the best price on this play, because on certain books, you got it at minus 180, whereas a certain FanDuel has it around minus 150.
Ooh, so you heard it here as well from my partner.
From the Dice.
No, partner didn't say it.
From
It was
the
the Dice. The Dice say lock in Los Angeles Angels plus 1.5, but make sure you do a little price shopping before you do so. So there you go. One more time. If you're not watching live, you're not seeing it on a screen, you're hearing it through some type of audio producing device, the Moneyline Dice roll for July 5th, 2021. Los Angeles Angels plus 1.5 for the full game.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you once again, Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up today's Moneyline Dice segment of the day. They're our partners, so you know we got to do it regardless, even if you guys don't want to hear me say it anyway. But why don't you just get yourself a set so you ain't got to hear me keep saying it? So, actually,
that wouldn't stop.
That would never stop me, because I absolutely love these guys, and I'm going to keep promoting them until I'm in the grave. So, MoneylineDice.com is where you can get your own set of Moneyline Dice or any of the other amazing products that they do have on their website. You don't have to go searching the interweb. You don't have to go scrolling through the Google machine. We make it super easy for you. Head to this episode's description, second link down at the bottom. That's the website. Hit that bad boy. You can scroll through all their merch. Nothing is off limits. And we also give you a discount code. We put it in the description as well. However, it is code TTL10, TTL10. When you get to checkout and enter it in the code box, you're going to get 10% off your first order on MoneylineDice.com. Not only can you start rolling with the crew, but your efforts, your help makes this show bigger and better each and every single day and helps us make more content and make TTL Sports Media our vision and where we want to take it. So, get your own MoneylineDice.com. Or get your own Moneyline Dice. Get your own Moneyline Dice now on MoneylineDice.com. I'm tongue-tied all crazy right now, but there you go. There you have it. Start rolling today and start trusting in the dice too. Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice.
Thank you, Dice. We appreciate it. We will see you on Tuesday's show. We hope you have a beautiful Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get everything finalized here. Looking good. Before we wrap up the first half of the show here today, you know, producer Colt still getting his wits about him from time to time. Just had a little minor bump there. Just a quick mutage of Magnuson, but no problem at all. No problem at all. Keep it rolling on down the tracks. All right, everything looking great. 1 segundo. All right. Got to get me all scooted in nice and comfy, because we're about to strap in once again. First things first, that does it for the betting portion of today's show. That is the Moneyline Dice roll, the special play, and all of our best bets of the day, the analysis, trends, and everything in between that goes right alongside with it. If you are one of the kind degenerates that just stops by the TTL pod for our best bets and analysis and all the previous stuff, and you're about to head out of here, first things first, we appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for joining us on another day and battle with the books. we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Monday unless you have other plans. But don't stay away too long if you guys really are out of here. We need you back in the trenches tomorrow. So we will see you on Tuesday's show for even more best bets, the 2 for Tuesday parlay, another Moneyline Dice roll, and who knows what we might cook up in between. So we will see you guys later. But if you are sticking around for the second half of the TTL pod on this beautiful Monday, it is now time for that second half. Without further ado, get ready for the fire that is the TTL Cruise. Rants and Reactions! All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to drop it into first gear, kick it on back just a little bit, and talk some shit here in the TTL production studios.
I'm ready for it.
My friend, how are you? The man that wields the hammer. How is the hammer feeling? How are you doing coming off a 4th of July weekend? Know you got some rest, rejuvenation. Anything to report here before we dive deep into some sports and sports gambling nonsense?
I don't think so. Like I said, great weekend. Loaded myself up with some apps to the point where got a little 2.5 hour nap on Saturday. Had a handful of beers, a little day drinking action. Nothing too crazy, like I mentioned, but enough to get that recipe to where you can't move come about 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I did just about the same, but I was on the beer brat train, my friend.
Get you refreshed, though.
Johnsonville got me. If you didn't see me on Twitter, they had the marketing ploy of the Independence Day season. You can't spell sausage without USA. Well, I saw that commercial, promptly hopped in the truck, went and grabbed me a 6-pack of Johnsonvilles, and they made their way to the grill promptly. They got me quick.
I think on Friday I mentioned the brats were my favorite go-to. That might be the one thing that I didn't have that I wish I would have.
How about that?
Had some burgers yesterday, which I always love. So I can't
some good
complain
burgers.
too bad about that. And obviously I had some good stuff Saturday too, but no brats.
No brats. All right. Well, there you go. There you have our 4th of July weekend. Let us know what you guys did. Did you do something cool? Did you watch some fireworks? Did you win some bets? Did you do some different things? Let us know. Drop it down in the comments. We want to connect with you guys. Let us know what you did on your 4th of July weekend. Did you get kept up till 1 in the morning like me with boom booms going on all night? Let me know. Well, we want to talk with you. We want to conversate with you. Hop on into the comments. Let us know what you did this past weekend. But moving right along, coming up here rather soon is the Tokyo Olympics.
Okay.
Coming up on July 23rd. That is a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. There's your information. Are we boycotting this son of a bitch?
I've been kicking the tires on it. I don't want to be... So I would feel pretty damn ridiculous if you and I were the only ones doing this boycott and everyone else was like, I still want to watch these Olympics.
Yeah, right.
While we're like, fuck all that.
Yeah, right. We're just two guys in the ocean, just pissed off, sitting in the corner, banging our rattles on our high chairs, like...
Because, I mean, if there's an actual movement and that's what we got to do to help out Sha'Carri Richardson, I'm not opposed, man. My girlfriend was giving me shit about it because we were talking about it. I showed her the clip from Friday's show of us talking about it. And she was, on the same page as we were. But then I kind of mentioned it on Friday. And I was like, well, I do love USA basketball. And now there's golf in the Olympics as of 2016.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So it would be hard for me to stay away from those. But then she was roasting me because I watch those sports in their own right, any day of the week, basically. Right. But I can't stay away. I love USA basketball too much, so I don't know.
I know. It's going to be rough.
That's obviously not a full boycott if I'm sprinkling in some...
you can't do a little side sprinkle. That's like, I'm not going to bet today, and then you toss together I only did a $1 12-leg parlay. That's not betting. Come on. It's... We'll see. I don't know, but I am getting excited for it. It sucks that all this shit is coming out now because I was getting really excited for the Tokyo Olympics. I love the Olympics, man. Just the fanfare, everything, but it's a little goofy because not to mention, I also found out that another athlete that runs the exact same event, I'm not going to get into the you-know-what of the world right now, but that same athlete tested positive for steroids the exact same day that Sha'Carri Richardson tested positive for marijuana. That young lady is still running in the Tokyo Olympics. She said she ate a pork burrito that tainted her test the day before, and Sha'Carri Richardson is still sitting on the sidelines.
If these pork burritos got steroids in it, I might have to increase my pork intake.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I'm a big fan of pork.
Hey,
I didn't know there was.
You trying to run to Chipotle right now? I'm trying to get me one of them pork bowls, son. If they're getting steroids, let's rock and roll. Actually, I've heard there's not so good benefits to taking steroids. I heard you got some issues that come along with that too. So well, maybe we might have to think about that. I don't know. Might have to think about the whole pork burritos. But
regardless, the Olympics. Come on. I don't know what's up their ass right now because it's not all this stuff. There's random different stuff that's a little head scratching, and a lot of people aren't too happy about it. So I also, if everyone's boycotting it, and I'm not going to be the ones that are like, I'm still going to watch these, swimming. I don't care enough about those types of events.
Right.
No disrespect, but like, will I watch it? If everything's cool, sure. But...
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens
boycott
with the
watch.
Tokyo Olympics. Who knows? But it is
boycott watch 2020.
But it is coming up. Maybe we'll put together a petition that you guys can sign. But it is coming up. Friday, July 23rd is the official start, the opening ceremonies of this year's Summer Games. Speaking of golf now officially being in the Tokyo Olympics, we had quite the Rocket Mortgage Classic in the PGA Tour here this past weekend. Came down, if you didn't see it yesterday, came down to Cam Davis and Merritt. I can't think of what his first name is right now. I'm totally blanking. But it went to a 5th playoff hole after last week went to 8 playoff holes. So we went to 5th playoff hole. Cam Davis misses a par putt to end it, and Cam Davis misses a birdie putt to end it, makes his par putt. Merritt misses his par putt on the final hole to bogey the hole and give Cam Davis the Rocket Mortgage Championship. So, hey, congrats to Cam Davis. It's his first official tour win. You never like to get it when the other guy fucks up. You like to get it outright, but either way, a dub's a dub, and he got that nice cash check in the bank promptly this morning.
It was definitely an exciting tournament. I was hoping my man Bubba could pull it out right there, knocking on the door once again. I'm hoping he keeps this up because this kind of came out of nowhere. He was down for I don't even know how long it seemed like. It seemed like for a couple of years even,
Quite
honestly.
a while. So
I'm just happy to see him up at the top of the leaderboard again because he's been one of my favorites for the last 10 years. But big ups to Cam Davis. These playoff holes, I'm down to having them keep rolling every single weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Great for Cam Davis. He had been struggling a while trying to get that first win, so it's good to see that. But nothing else major coming out of the PGA.
I believe the match is coming up this week.
Oh, yes, that is.
Bryson, Rogers.
Yeah, that whole deal. So Rogers and Bryson versus Phil and Tampa Tom. Early predictions, early winners. While we're here.
I'm obviously not gonna.
Why would I ask that?
Aaron Rodgers. I'm not. But then that I say because I'm not the biggest Bryson fan in the world either. So I wish that wasn't the pairing. I wish Aaron Rodgers was paired up with somebody else.
Aaron and Phil would be sick.
That would be awesome.
Aaron and Phil would be sick.
Phil and Tom is such a sick combo.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Goat and goat.
I'm interested to see what happens with Bryson. Like, biased aside, I might be taking, and I'm probably not going to take it because I can't physically take myself to bet against my man Aaron Rodgers, but a lot of stuff going on with Bryson right now that's a little bit questionable. Did not have a good weekend. Had a little bit of a appearance of a falling out of sorts with his caddy, obviously backing out of that relationship temporarily. So I don't know, man. I'm not super confident in Bryson this week.
Yeah, maybe we've been putting some extra stuff in the protein shakes and been making us a little bit emotional. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Who's to say? But there might be my hot take at the current moment because
I think he's just a weird guy, man.
Old DeChambeau is not playing like we saw him last year or even in the past couple months. He has fallen off a cliff and a half.
I think he's just a weird guy, man, and a lot of the stuff that's going on is getting in his head.
And I know you're a big Brooksy guy too. So.
I am.
So
even aside from that, even before this whole rivalry of sorts, I was never the biggest fan of Bryson. But now it seems like everything that's going on is starting to get into his head. Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. I think you are right that it's getting into his head. I mean, he's just I don't think he's super mentally tough like that.
Honestly.
Yeah. So there you go. There's our opinion. Went down a whole different rabbit hole than the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Got off on another little tangent, but that's how the Rants and Reactions work. So let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. To my specialty. I have promised you that I would dive deep, and boy, oh boy, girls and boys, have I dove deep. I am talking about the world of MMA and UFC. I did a little bit of research, see what's coming up. I've been shining up the tools in the tool shed, if you will, on BKFC, on Bellator, on PFL, obviously the premier UFC, trying to see what's going on out there, okay? So first things first, one of, I don't want to say one of my favorite fighters, but one of my top fighters to watch, a great fighter to watch. You're not going to see him for a little while. Not going to get into all logistics of everything that's going on, but Luis Pena, over the weekend, got charged with robbery and battery of his girlfriend. So you will not be seeing him in the UFC for quite some time, or maybe even ever again. He had come off of a couple of rough losses. He was doing really good. I was actually looking forward to seeing him back in the cage, seeing where he improved. He had a few improvements he could make on the ground, and then a few improvements on the feet. And I thought he needed to just be much sharper.
Touch up a little bit.
But no more. Sucks to suck.
So, like you said, not to get into logistics, but this is the first I'm hearing of it. He robbed his girlfriend.
Something along those lines. I didn't read the whole article because I'm just like, I don't even want to know all this shit. I don't need the drama. But something along the lines, they got into a tussle, battery, robbed her. I don't know. But the headline read, Luis Pena charged with robbery and battery of girlfriend. So there you go. There you have it. However, that's all I want to say about that. Just in case you're wondering where the hell's Luis Pena been? He was on a tear. Not no more. Moving right along, kind of disappointed to hear this. We had coming up on the 17th, it was going to be a fight night, I do believe. I don't think it was anything premier. Max Holloway was scheduled to fight Yair Rodriguez. That was going to be so sick. It was looking like this was going to be kind of like Max's setup fight to sit and wait between Volk and Ortega. Whatever happened there, then Max would get either Volk or Ortega. Right. However, Max has now pulled out of the July 17th fight against Rodriguez due to an undisclosed injury. So, timetable to return, TBD. Injury, TBD. We have no idea what's going on with Max Holloway, but we do know we will not be seeing him fight in 2021 still. Definitely sucks because he's coming off of that beautiful boxing performance against Calvin Kattar back at the end of 2020. You know, man, I hope he's okay. I don't know what's all going on. It's kind of bizarre that they're not releasing what exactly the injury is.
She's not great.
But that's not great when they're not doing that, because typically fighters are like, I fucked up my foot in training, or, I split open my eye. I can't fight. You obviously can't fight with a cut, whatever. But there's nothing that's come out yet. So I will continue to update you guys on that. But as per now, trying to find a replacement for Yair Rodriguez for the card on July the 17th.
Yeah, that's a bummer because Max Holloway, as you kind of mentioned, literally just making that second push to get back up to the top of the ranks of his division. So, and as you mentioned, he's been killing it lately, and I thought he was going to make that push again, but might have to be on hold. Classic
Max Holloway. If you're a fight fan, you know this quote. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Max blessed. Wish you a speedy recovery. Hope to see you back soon. Another big news, and I say big because we're going to the heavyweight division, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are we having this horse shit interim championship title fight between Cyril Gane and the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, we have now seen another heavyweight matchup that is very, very close to having both names signed on the dotted line. Contracts are almost completed, and we have, it looks like, upcoming on UFC 266, shit, we ain't even got through 265 yet, Curtis Blades versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik for the main event of UFC 266.
I love it. So is this the winner gets the loser of Cyril Gane versus Black Beast, you think?
You know, it's funny that you put it that way because it's almost like, yeah, but then what the fuck? You just going to have Francis sit around for another 9 months, another 12 months?
Well, no, that's what I mean. The winner of that fight gets Francis Ngannou, the winner of Gane versus Black Beast, and then the loser of that fight would get the winner of this fight. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Oh, so the loser of
Gane versus Black Beast gets the winner of this one.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening because honestly, right now it's a 5-horse race in the heavyweight division, and those are the 5 guys.
Unless you put Stipe
back up there.
Seem like it.
But honestly, Blades, Lewis, Rozenstruik, Ngannou, and Gane. Yeah. Those are the 5 big boys that are going at it right now in the heavyweight. They are vying for top position. Justin Taffa, you might see. I think he lacks a few little things to really be elite like that. Tanner Boser's starting to make some waves. I think he might have what it takes. I would love to see him versus Cyril Gane. I think that would be just classic brawler versus technical Muay Thai artist. I think that would be really, really good. So I'm interested to see what happens here with Tanner Boser. I think he can more than hold his own. He's an old school Canadian hockey fighter, so I absolutely love him. Outside of that, in the heavyweight division, yeah, if you count out Stipe, really not many guys making huge noise, huge waves. Obviously, Alexander Volkov now, per his age, he's still young, but in terms of fight length in the UFC, he is old when it comes to that. So we'll see what happens there. That might have been one of his last fights we see against Gane. Might not have been. Not too sure, but the heavyweight division is starting to get shook up and things are starting to happen. So per Brett Okamoto, things are in the works for UFC 266, almost signed for Rosenstruik versus Blades. I am a huge fan of that matchup. Cannot wait to see that. Both guys bring power.
Yeah, no kidding.
As far as UFC 265 goes, now that I've told you everything else kind of happening, also going to try and get more into BKFC. I have really been lacking there, and I watched some highlights last night. Wow.
Wild.
Wow. I mean, it is insane, some of the fights and some of the stuff. I mean, it's a lot. Now, if you think that UFC is gruesome, and you probably don't want to click over to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship because it is pretty brutal. I mean, it's tough, but I think I'm gonna start getting into it because it's top notch. It's
electric,
and it is very technical.
Yeah.
Very technical. You might see it as just two goofers going in there throwing bombs, but it is a very technical matchup because bare knuckles, you get barely touched once, and it's night Tweety Bird. That is over with. But UFC 265, we got Conor versus Dustin the Diamond coming up this Saturday. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Actually, right now it's probably already crawling in Vegas. I've been out there. I've been out there for a fight week. Actually, for a Conor fight week.
Say for a Conor fight week, though.
Yes, for a Conor fight week.
Not saying you, but yeah,
where he
Vegas,
fought Floyd Mayweather. Okay. Actually, that was insane. I was there for the start of that week and left the middle of that week. I left Vegas. A Conor fight week is unlike anything. The MGM Grand obviously is connected to the T-Mobile Arena. That's their whole stadium. That's their whole deal. The MGM Grand is filled with nothing but notorious stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you look, there is some type of notorious mug, glass, shirt, hat, something that you can buy. But the thing is I think that the Diamond is going to be bringing just as much heat this time around. And I think you're going to be able to find just as much stuff out there because this is the trilogy. It's 1-1.
Man.
This is huge. This is crazy. Both guys are back to talking shit now after being all respectful in the second fight.
Right.
I'm here for it.
And if you weren't a Dustin fan before fight number 2, you at least have his respect at this point.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
Kidding.
Absolutely.
And I'm a fan of him.
The thing I'm worried about, though, is this has kind of been the story of the Diamond's career.
Okay.
He will go on a streak, go on a run, beat a huge name, and then fall off the map.
Okay.
That is the reason why he has his name, the Diamond.
Okay.
Because diamonds are formed under pressure, and he consistently finds himself under pressure in the UFC and has to perform to get himself back in those rankings. Not saying any hate against the Diamond. I love the Diamond. I would not hold a fucking candle to him. I would probably be able to spar for 15 seconds, and I'd be flat on my ass. I wouldn't even question going toe-to-toe with the Diamond. However, it's just kind of been the story of his career, and this has also been the story of Conor, where he comes off of that loss and he unlocks an entirely new version of himself. And I don't know how many more versions Conor can unlock, but he is on an entirely new level. I'm back watching his training videos, back on his Instagram nonstop 24/7, and he is in that different level. And he's back on the Conor talking shit, not happy dad. Hey, champ. Hi, Dustin. Hi, Mr. Dustin. He is here to fight, and he is here to be classic Notorious McGregor. So
I can't wait.
I think this entire week, the lead up to it, I think you need to be watching the pressers. I think you need to be watching everything because these boys are going back to the dirt and they're going back to talking shit on each other. So I suggest that you tune in not only this entire week, but this weekend. Make sure you buy it and get everything set up legally all that. Make sure you do all that. But one other announcement for UFC 265, actually a really, really solid fight has been added to the card. Two guys that I was thinking, when are we going to see them again? Both coming off of really, really solid performances, and they should have some opportunities coming up here at 170. Michael Chiesa versus Vicente Luque added to 265, my friend.
That's a juicy one.
How about that?
That is a juicy one.
Yeah.
I mean, UFC's not really disappointed with these pay-per-view matchups right now.
No, not at all. So I am beyond pumped. I was really excited to know when Luque was getting back in the cage, and the fact that it's against Chiesa, two high-level BJJ guys, two high-level strikers. Give me this one. I mean, give me all of this fight. This might be my favorite fight on the card outside of Conor and Dustin. Man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this.
Are we
card.
mixed up here? Is this 264 this weekend and that one's 265?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So 264 is this weekend, and then 265 is the weekend after. So I was misspeaking. Yes. So 265 is the one coming up. So Chiesa Luque on 265, not this weekend. Right. I apologize.
No worries.
But yeah, so that's a fight I'm really looking forward to. But back to 264 this coming weekend. Conor Diamond 3 trilogy fight, the rubber match. Make sure you stay tuned in all week. I'll be breaking down some of the countdown stuff, some of the UFC embedded stuff I'm seeing. I dive deep already in fight week, and it came to my mind, why the fuck don't I just start making content on this shit? I'm so knowledgeable about it. I might as well just start talking, not tooting my own horn, but just going to keep bringing you guys this stuff. So make sure, if nonetheless you tune into Friday's show, we will break down the entire card, give you best bets from the entire thing, from the beginning, early prelim, all the way to the main event. And then you know the deal, my friends. It's time to cash one of these bad boys. I'll bring you another Colts main card parlay. And after one leg last week on one of the biggest favorites on there, I think I have everything mapped out just where I need it.
I think I'll be right there with you.
All right, my friend. Well, make sure you guys come by, stick around for Friday's show for the UFC 264 breakdown and main card parlay, and even more best bets outside of that. So there you go, world of MMA, UFC. Told you I'm going to keep bringing the heat. I'm going to keep doing it. So make sure you keep tuning in if you like to get all up to date on the world of UFC and MMA, because outside of the premier guys, Brett Okamoto, Ariel Helwani, there's not a whole lot of many people that cover it. So I will gladly put that burden on my shoulders and continue to bring you content on it. But let's get out of the world of MMA. Let's get back to some more sports that everybody knows everything about. First things first, let's stop off in the NFL, because nothing crazy really going on there right now. But a little bit of news has come out. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's kind of one of those beating the same old drum kind of news that has come out. Josh Gordon has filed for reinstatement into the NFL yet again. What do you think? Is he getting the appeal? Is he coming back? Can the man stay off of the pots long enough to be able to complete a few practices and see live on the field? Because in my mind, he is still one of the best receivers in the league. He is top notch. His athletic ability, if he would just take it seriously, his athletic ability far surpasses half the damn wide receivers in the league. Yeah. He just needs to take it seriously.
I mean, I think he's still a very good receiver. I don't know if he's like top 10 still. I'm not saying quite that far. Maybe you're not either.
Right, because we haven't seen him.
Right. But I hope he gets back, man. He's been exciting. And, I don't know. We've kind of, like you said, beaten the same old dead horse. We've seen this story before where everyone's excited for him to see him come back, and then it's pretty short-lived.
What was it? Week 12 of like 2020 the last time, or 2019 the last time we saw him? Because we didn't see him last year. I'm pretty sure it was for the Seahawks in 2019, like week 12 or week 13.
Right. I don't even know. So, this is one that I've kind of, like 2 times ago, I've kind of taken myself out of it because it's kind of just been the same old story. Yeah. Not that it's necessarily his fault. I don't think he's had the fairest shake of things, but kind of one of those things where a couple times ago, if he's here, great. If not, I'm not gonna get excited for it.
Absolutely. And if you haven't heard Pat McAfee talk about the substance of abuse program in the NFL, it's designed so your happy ass does not get out of there. It's designed to fuck your life up. Right. Like if you do not walk the straight and narrow, the substance abuse program, you can see your NFL career and everything goodbye. If you want to hear some good, he has some really, really good knowledge. I'm not sure if there's like any specific clips or anything, but McAfee's got some really good knowledge on that stuff. I love to hear him talk about that. But we'll see what happens with Josh Gordon. Nothing crazy else happening on the NFL gridiron, but we will be sure to keep you guys updated. Days are ticking on down. Before you know it, we'll be talking fantasy football. We'll be in our leagues. We'll be giving you bets. We'll be giving you stuff. We'll be having fantasy football going on in the rants and reactions. We'll tell you what you should be targeting on the free agent market for the week to come. Some key things we've been hearing that also play in from our bets to the guys that we are going to decide to be putting in our fantasy lineups. You better believe, ladies and gentlemen, that even though the MLB season has been a little bit hit and miss here for the TTL crew, when it comes to NFL, college football, college basketball, we do the damn thing. Yeah, let me tell you that. We do the damn thing. So, we'll get through these next couple weeks, month and a half. Just remember, this is the last month we have without betting on any type of football.
You a big NFL preseason better?
Well, since we don't have preseason this year, I won't be.
Well, then we don't have... Oh, it's college football in August. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
bad. Sorry.
Yeah. College football starts. It's all good.
What do you mean we don't have preseason this year? Am I missing something?
Yeah, they get the preseason games away. There's no preseason games this year. They took the preseason games away and added the extra week.
I thought they still had at least a couple.
I don't believe so, but we can fact check the hell out of me.
Please fact check me, because that's just will go to show that I am not out of my wheelhouse. I'm rusty.
Well, we will certainly find out. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, there's preseason games. They just shortened it.
I don't know. Because a lot of people were asking.
Yeah, that's NFL.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it sure is. CBS Sports. I was almost positive they took that away.
Just shortened it.
Yeah.
I think maybe last year, I think then.
So what did they shorten it to? 2 games?
Maybe.
So what's the fuck the point of the damn preseason games? That's just stupid. That's dumb.
I'm not arguing that.
Either way, well, I apologize. I misspoke. I thought they got rid of the preseason games. Apparently we did not. We just added an extra week and kept the preseason games, and now we're just going to... No wonder guys don't want to show the fuck up at OTAs. No fucking wonder. Yeah. Dumbass NFL. All right, keep it moving, keep it grooving before I get on that soapbox, because that's pretty goofy.
Tune up our NFL knowledge here.
That is for sure. But we promise we will once it comes on around. Well, I've already been diving deep back into stuff, just not only for the rants and reactions. So there you go, gridiron. Now to the game so beautiful it has to be played on diamonds. The MLB. Some key news coming out of there. First things first, a little bit of not so good news. Kyle Schwarber hitting the IL for an indefinite amount of time. Hammy injury, hammy strain, not exactly sure what all it is. They don't even have a timetable on him yet. Absolutely crushing for how he was absolutely mashing the ball.
Hottest man on the planet.
Was really starting to find his groove. Man, I feel so bad for Schwarby. So hopefully he can come back by the time the All-Star break's over, if not a few weeks past that. Come back for the Nats, try and get a little postseason run going there. But
kind of been his story of his career almost. I mean, that's not necessarily that same injury, but just kind of, just when he starts to get going, something like this happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. That's kind of a depressing injury. But for some really good news, for some really cool stuff, Shohei Ohtani becomes the first official MLB player of any race to be selected to an all-star team as not only a pitcher, but as also a hitter. What do you think about that, man? How is it too early to put Shohei Ohtani in GOAT status?
As far as that, I would say so. I have different... I mean, I think he's fantastic, but, I don't even think he's the best player on his team when Mike Trout's healthy, if we're getting down to brass tacks of it. So, as far as GOAT conversation, I'm out on that.
Brass tacks of it, he just hit his 31st home run of the season last night, and that ties Hideki Matsuyama's record as the most home runs from a Japanese player, and last time I checked, we got still well over 100 games to play.
I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing Shohei Ohtani. I am a massive massive fan. He is fantastic. He was one of the best in the league.
Well, you just said he wasn't the best player.
On his team, it's Mike Trout. Yeah.
I guess.
Mike Trout's in the GOAT conversation himself.
I guess it is. It's pretty close. It's
They
pretty
need some
close.
damn pitchers aside from those guys because despite those two guys being on their team, and obviously Trout's been out, but even when he was there, they were still around 500. So
well, and the jury's still out here. Is Ohtani a better hitter or a better pitcher? Because he gave up 7 earned runs in his last outing, man, and that's unacceptable. You can't do that.
I think he's a dominant hitter. I would say he's a really good pitcher. I wouldn't label him as a dominant pitcher.
Sure.
But I mean, we were expecting him to destroy the Yankees on the mound last week, but obviously that didn't happen. But he's doing it with the bat pretty damn consistently, and I think he might get one tonight.
I think so too. Oh, speaking of which, if you guys wanted to know how excited we are for the NFL season, I'm wearing fucking Bears flip-flops right now. Hey, thanks, Ma. Appreciate it. Love you. Got your Green Bay Packers.
Mouse pad over here.
There you go. We are more than excited. But in the MLB, that just popped into my head because it fell off my foot. But in the MLB, we'll see if we get one from him here again tonight against Boston. I think against Martin Perez. He hasn't been the greatest against lefties, but I think he might have a little bit of a shot here against Martin Perez. I don't think Martin Perez is going to put up an 0 for again against these boys, but we'll see what goes down, what happens. The dice told us that the Angels are going to keep it close, at least within a run. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But there you go. Update on Shohei Ohtani. Definitely looks like he is going to be getting the home run record for most from a Japanese player of any time.
Yeah, no kidding.
There you go.
Kidding. He might get it tonight.
Yeah, might get it tonight. Hopefully he does. That would be awesome. Make sure you stay tuned into our social medias, because if he does, I can guarantee you're going to see something about it from us. So make sure you follow us there. Hell of a time to remind you as well. You can find all of that in the link tree in this episode's description. You can find all of our social platforms and additional content. So as always, you can consume it however and whenever you please. And then as well, if you're looking for more best bets, more parlays, more all types of stuff, everything we bet on a daily basis outside of the TTL pod, make sure you follow us on the Action Network app. I am at cash_with_Colt. Riley is at RMags, all caps, and then you can follow the best bets from the pod at Talking the Line on the Action. You can also follow us on Tally Site, TALLYSIGHT. You can see all of our best bets of the day. Right now, they just stick with Moneyline totals and spreads. So if we have any of those best bets, we put them out on Tally Site. Pretty cool. You can actually go right onto our dedicated landing pages for all of our picks. You can bet right from that page on your favorite sports book. We have unlimited opportunities there. And then if you also want to become a member of Tally Site, we give you 70% off by just stopping by the page. You can sign up. It's only $2.99 a month for membership, so you're getting 70% off of that. So if you want to do that, you can get even more insights, analysis from some of the top bettors in the industry. We know we're getting our feet wet. We're starting to get better and better and better as the days and weeks roll along here and as we continue this journey as sports betting analysts. But there are some of the best names, some of the names that you would instantly know that are associated with Tally Site and that we are part of a community with. So suggest you head on over there, check us out, check out our pages, and check out Tally Site on Twitter as well. They got some good content they consistently put out. So there's that. There you go. Back into the MLB. War on sticky stuff rages on, my friend. Over the weekend here, we had a little Kenley Jensen issue.
Little fishy.
So one of the new rules states that there is no rosin to be put on the pitching or the glove hand.
Right.
You cannot put rosin on the glove hand, or there cannot be any foreign substances anywhere on that arm or hand. It just can't happen. Well, Kenley Jensen comes in for the close, gets back to the bump, looks up at his shortstop, looks up at his second baseman, and tosses one of those, flicks the glove off, grabs that rosin bag up, pats it around a few times, drops it back down, sticks the glove back on his hand, and turns around and gets walking back up onto the rubber on the bump. Mm-hmm. While this is all going down, and I tweeted this out, but the ump had the classic move we all know and can see. What do you think I'm thinking if I do this?
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. I don't know what's going on. I totally see what the hell you're doing, but I really got to pretend that I am not right now. So let me crack my neck a few times and look down. And all right, play ball. Here we go. So are we just picking and choosing who the fuck's favorites or what we're doing here or who's getting kicked off? And not to mention, while I'm on this rabbit hole, Garrett Cole was touching the brim of that ball cap an awful lot yesterday against those New York Mets.
I think it's safe to say the policing of the old sticky stuff is not exactly consistent.
No. I don't think it is at all. I don't think it is at all. I mean, I'm talking about the man. Every pitch, every pitch, he was touching that hat an awful lot yesterday. So we're picking and playing favorites. So there's stuff going on behind the lines. Hey, we don't want to hurt the game too much. We want to keep people coming around and liking your names too. So just be careful. Who knows what's going on? It is still going to rage on. It's still going to be bananas. Who in the world knows? And we're still going to rant and react about it. However, your man, not anymore, Hector Santiago.
He wasn't very good when he was with the Sox.
Yeah, I know he wasn't. So Hector Santiago, his appeal is officially set for next week.
Yep.
Early next week, he'll be appealing his sticky stuff trial. We dove deep into that. We told you everything. He got his glove put into a trash bag. Yep. It looked like a hefty bag, and apparently it got all investigated. Said it was just a little bit of rosin, so he's going to appeal that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes all of that. But Santiago is not just going to bite the bullet and be the lone son of a gun that got kicked out and has that blemish on his record.
They speaking of the Sox on Sunday, back-to-back Sundays, I thought we were about to have another one for Detroit yesterday. I'm blanking on what his name was, but the umpires took about 5 different looks at this dude's glove and finally just made him get a new one.
Really?
It was really bizarre yesterday.
Is it just that your Sox are on a little bit of a skid? I'm not saying they're bad, just a little bit of a skid, and maybe the umps are.
It's not like they're asking for it.
The umps are like, hey, what's going on here? The Sox should be way better. They're first in the AL Central. What's the deal?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Is that why they're first in the AL Central?
Sure.
We're having so many opportunities to check gloves, and the Sox, Tony La Russa just policing every doggone thing we got going on.
Totally.
I don't know. Speaking of which, how you feeling about your man Tony? Everything going good over there?
We got a 6-game division lead despite 3-4 starters out of the lineup right now. I'm pretty, I'm pretty content right now.
Not too shabby. I would have to agree with you. Your Sox are playing good, but for the time being, from me, they are on the DNB list. Do not bet. They're a little less than trustworthy right now. Not saying that I don't like Dylan Cease today against Bailey Ober, but Dylan Cease in the big games on the road has shit the bed all season long, and Bailey Ober really sucks as well, so we might see an over game here today. I don't really know what's going on.
They are unpredictable right now. I'm not going to lie.
Too much. They might be have a very, very comfortable lead, and I think because of that comfortability, they're getting a little lackluster in a few areas. We need to tune it up in the brains, boys. We got money to win here. You were best team in the first 5. Now you can't even put up 2 runs in the first 5 innings. What the hell are we doing here, huh? Let's get back to winning. Let's hope that the Sox get back on the track so we can take them off of the DNB list. My Cubbies.
Speaking of DNB list.
Ooh, boy. Well, actually, we bet them today.
I know. Aside from the first 5.
They're 0-9 in their last 9 overall. It's brutal. And if you're a Cubs fan, if you're watching, the one silver lining that I can tell you guys is we're not getting blown out. We're not getting destroyed.
Yeah,
it's 1-run games.
Embarrassing 9 in a row.
It's little mental issues. Little mental issues. We play so well through the first 6 innings, and if you're a Cubs fan, you know this. This is classic Cubs. This is just, it is what it is. We get good, we get hot, and then we start pulling bonehead moves in the 7th inning. I mean, we play pristine the whole game, and then we just bonehead moves. I think we're going to get out of it. I don't think this is going to be a consistent. I think this is just a little pre-All-Star game slump bump, whatever you want to call it, we're going through right now, and eventually we'll get back on track. Like I said, just being those 1-run losses are definitely make me feel a lot better than 9-2, 9-4, shit.
So my turn to poke the bear now. Any concerns about selling the assets here? No extensions have been given.
Oh yeah, they're selling the fucking team. I've already come to conclusions of that.
Anything that's happened in this trade deadline coming up?
If we don't pull our heads out of the asses 150%, 150%, I would not put it by Jed one bit. Hoyer will start he'll just start pulling cards. He don't give a shit.
Now this would be highly unlikely
because he was already trashing the team he's already done trash the team. He's like, oh, we need to be walking more. We need to be doing stuff on national television. How do you think that fucking makes the team feel? Real good. Thanks, Mr. President.
It's bizarre, man. I don't think it would be, even despite if it was the right move or not. Just having seen what's going on in my lifetime, I don't think that would be fair to you guys as Cubs fans. Even if it might be the right move long term as far as winning games,
These guys are the only guys that have ever got the job done for the Cubs.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
They're the only guys that have ever done it.
You gotta, ride out however long you can with that core of guys for the fan base, honestly. And
I think so too.
Unless there's a clear-cut way to turn it around in a different way for wins.
Okay, so do you have an opinion on this? If anybody out of Riz, KB, Contreras, Javi, and I will say those four. Yeah, those basically four core. Sure. Who goes out of those four?
I will say it is concerning what Baez has done the last couple of years. Very concerning. But at the same time, I don't know where his trade value is right now.
I don't know if his trade value is worth a damn.
Yeah, because the guy that I don't think you should want to trade is Chris Bryant. But
and he has the most value.
Exactly.
He has the most value right now. He can play left field to fucking catcher. He can hit the ball. He can hit it with power. He can field. He can throw.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Unfortunately,
Contreras,
kids, that too.
Because his trade value as a catcher, there's not a ton of catchers that can slug
extreme,
like
extreme trade value as a catcher. So unfortunately, kids, it might be our two favorites, and yeah, it's gonna come down to the guys who have trade value, and yeah, who what are we gonna get? Fucking Ozzy Albies for Javi? Like,
I don't know.
Come on now.
Well, so like I was about to say, it would be highly unlikely, but I did see something where it was like Rick Hahn, the White Sox GM, lauded over, certain guys' versatility to play multiple spots. And so one of my White Sox guys that I follow said something like Chris Bryant on the South Side by the end of August or something, or by August 2021. And I said, oh my goodness, no. Of course, I would love that. That would be amazing.
That just depressed the shit out of me.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
And I was like, my God, they can't do that, right?
I didn't think that would upset me that much. That just really took the whole wind out of my
The city would fucking burn.
And it very well might.
It would.
It very well might.
The city would burn.
Damn, dude, that would really fucking suck. I haven't really thought about this too much, man. Let's move along. This is depressing the shit out of me, Gilby. I don't want my Cubs to be broken up. Keep the band together. Fuck! All right, I got it out. Okay. We're good. All right, move it right along.
It's not so fun getting fucking poked at like that,
I know. Sorry, Bob.
It's not fucking fun, is it?
Sorry, Bob. I do put you on the hot seat a lot. I'll take note of that in the future. All right, so moving right along, closing things out here. Our last two pit stops, as always, we stop by the NBA hardwood and the NHL ice. Starting things off in the NBA, we're wrapping it up here. The finals are upon us. Game 1, Tuesday, in Phoenix. Partner, any early predictions, any early guesses, any thing you're kind of seeing sticking out in your mind here? First things first.
I still don't know, man. It all depends on what's going on with Giannis. The Bucks did kind of prove that they can hold their own without him, but it's not going to be much of a series if he ain't in the building and suited up. So if he's not there, I just have to imagine he's not going to be 100% healthy. That's the other thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if he sits out game 1, though.
Yeah, we'll see. Suns open up as a -6 point favorites. So that's kind of been that key number, scary key number during the postseason.
I don't know.
I don't really know which way to go either. We'll see what comes of it. I don't really know. It should be some good finals, but once that, it's all but over, my friend. So make sure you tune in. It might only be about a week here that we have NBA games left, and
luckily
it's all over.
Maybe not luckily, because then it's a little sparingly, but they typically spread the finals out a little bit longer than they do the rest of the postseason. So
yeah, definitely. So
we'll hang on there for a minute.
There you go. We'll see what happens. Other NBA news, not really NBA news, but an NBA player who we all know and love, Luka Doncic and his brothers, the Slavs from Slovenia. The first time in their country's history make the Olympics. How about that? The boys who were hyped yesterday.
They were hyped.
Did you see the post-game interview?
No, I did not.
Oh, they come in. They were interviewing Luka and the head coach, and Luka and the head coach being all proper. All of a sudden, the team just burst in from either side of the camera, just just losing their mind. Awesome. It was absolutely electric. It was great.
Those are the Olympic moments that I do love the most. The guys that, whether it's making the Olympics for their country for the first time ever, or obviously getting medals for the first time,
it's awesome.
You can see how much it means to them. So I'm gonna be excited to watch Luka in any capacity. So I don't know what their chances are at all. Usually I dive into some Olympic basketball, getting closer to it, because as I mentioned, I love USA basketball.
It just seems that every team just does not hold a fucking candle to the USA.
No.
Like Slovenia only scored 98 points yesterday. Like I don't see USA scoring under 140 in every game.
Yeah, you've had a couple of teams over the years that if they ran into a different iteration of the USA team, they might have had a chance. Like there were some years where Spain was putting up some teams, Greece, Argentina, but it doesn't seem like that's in the scope of things. Because I mean, Spain had some really good teams, but then it was also 2008 and 2012 when USA basketball was unbeatable. And their team isn't as loaded as it's been in the past this year, but I mean they got Kevin Durant there, and it's still pretty damn good. So as you mentioned, not going to be anyone touching them this year.
Nope. So looking forward to USA basketball in the Olympics for sure. That does it for Unless we boycott. But that does it for today's Rants and Reactions on the hardwood. We'll be sure to give you the latest once we know more coming out for tomorrow's game, anything like that. So stay tuned for the latest on the NBA. And last but not least, the NHL ice, ladies and gentlemen. We have Game 4 tonight in Montreal.
Cup is in the building.
The cup is in the building. But partner, I got something that we gotta discuss here.
Okay.
So, it has come out that the mayor of the city of Tampa Bay, Florida, has told or suggested or maybe said, hey, that the Lightning should take it a little easy on tonight's game. Not necessarily throw it by any means, but maybe pull the reins back a little bit. Let them win without me telling you to let them win. So we can have a big old gay celebration over there in Tampa Bay. You guys, relax in Montreal tonight. We'll see you back home for Game 5, and then we'll let you hoist that cup in Tampa Bay. What are we talking about here? And you know what would put the icing on top of the cake is if they do that, my Habs get that victory tonight, and they yet again come back 3-1 and hoist Sir Stanley above their heads.
Yeah, typically when things like this are said, what precedes follows this typically isn't exactly hunky-dory, everything perfect the way you want them to.
No.
Now, I could still see the Lightning saying, forget that, we're fucking taking care of it tonight. I could absolutely see that.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I'm not calling for, the Habs in 7 by any means, but, this typically tends to get sweaty whenever things like this are said after this.
That is definitely true. So, I don't know. I might be crazy enough to hammer down on my Habs one more time.
You are.
If it is the last time I get to today, I might as fucking well. So, I think I'll be hammering in the Habs promptly. I have all postseason long. I have even before the postseason. For the last 2 months now, I've been talking about the Montreal Canadiens. And today might be the last day. I hope not, but I will hammer them in with hopes of continuing this legendary run and maybe forcing a Game 5, then Game 6, then Game 7 to be able to list Lord Stanley right over their heads with any luck.
I don't know if I'll be there with you tonight or not. I don't think so.
Sounds like an or not moment to me. But that does it for the NHL ice, my friends. Outside of that, that about does it for the Rants and Reactions segment of the day. Second half of the show. Outside of that, reminded you guys about the Action app. Make sure you follow us on the Action app. Make sure you hit our link tree if you're trying to find any additional stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That is where we are the most active, but expanding, continually growing. Instagram, wanting to expand into a few other platforms. We'll let you know what platforms we're going into, just what makes the most sense as far as workability, where we're at, what kind of where the market's at as far as what we produce. So we'll let you know. We'll whenever we start to expand that. Might have some RMags props of the day. Definitely today. So make sure you stay locked in definitely to the Twitters. You'll see that on his page and then on the TTL page. Might have Colt's daily draw coming at you, or might even have a little Yurfie run in the first inning. Little action there. So I was liking one I saw yesterday from my boy Jason's Picks on Twitter. He is a Nerfy and Yurfie genius.
Okay.
Absolutely lays it down, and he's got me into some of these Yurfie plays, man. Over 0.5, and there's a lot of games that I decide to stay away from for the draw, but it's because of, I think they'll put at least one run on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that Nerfy market in the early season was hot. Everyone was on it. It seemed like they were cashing pretty quickly, and
Now it's kinda Nerfy.
Yeah, now it's kind of flipping.
Now it's
Teams are
kind of
putting it up
Yerfy,
early,
so maybe it might change from the daily draw to the daily run. Who knows?
First inning, something first inning title.
We'll see. I'll come up with something. But I think that's coming out today because I saw a couple of matchups, or a good handful of matchups, that I think we're at least going to see one run in the first inning. So make sure you stay tuned to that. The daily draw might be changing.
Let me guess one. Sox Twins.
I did like that. I did like that a lot. So there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Rants and reactions are now completed. All the reminders you need to be up to date as best as possible with the TTL crew and everything Talking the Line Sports Media. Also, infrastructure on the website will be underway very shortly. Working very hard to get that all rocking and rolling. But with all the additional things that you boys are handling outside of just creating the content for you, we seem to be a little bit busier than the average bee. Actually, about as busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. But hey, no harm, no foul. We love the grind. It's process over product here at the TTL Pod and TTL Sports Media. So we'll just keep it rocking and rolling for you guys, no question. But we are some busy worker bees. But that all being said, new stuff going to continuously be rolled out. New stuff right on the horizon, new video content, new daily written content, new things are coming out. We are consistently working. We're not just two stew bums that come live for a couple hours and then just say, see y'all later, we ain't doing nothing else. And if you're a fan of the TTL crew, you know that's consistently the deal. So make sure you stick around. We're only getting bigger and better every single day, my friends, and cannot wait to take this baby to the moon. We are slowly growing day by day. So make sure you keep sticking around. Outside of that, I got nothing else, partner. Anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul that you have been dying to get out to the kind folks that joined us on episode 73 of the TTL Pod.
So, a little bit of sports video game potentially rumors.
Okay.
Rumor has it that EA Sports, come July 20th, is going to announce I don't know the exact wordage. I don't know if this is official, but, the Twitter rumors were pretty convincing. Rumor has it there might be a revival of one of our favorite, franchises. And this post did not come from EA Sports, but they had a graphic, and it was Fight Night, NBA Live, SSX Tricky, Def Jam Fight Night for New York, NCAA March Madness, and NBA Street. Now, I am under the opinion that they are throwing us a curveball with that lineup, and there's no way that this isn't NCAA football. There's no way, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Having said that, I don't think there's big enough fan base for it to be Fight Night. Right now, at least. I don't know if there's
maybe
enough
not
boxing.
Fight Night. SSX Tricky, sign me up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sign me
That's
up.
what I was
sign me up right motherfucking now.
Yeah.
Bro, I would spend hours on the G Cube on SSX Tricky.
Yeah,
my gosh.
Personally, I've spent about a collective 2 hours over my lifetime on my own physical snowboard. However, that game is a different beast, and that game was legit.
Probably about a collective 300 hours.
Or if it's not NCAA football, I find it hard to believe that they would announce NCAA March Madness before.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Which I am a fan of that game, and I want that to come back eventually. Yeah. The other ones that I would
Def
say...
Jam Fight Night.
I did not know what that one was.
Def Jam was a pretty successful franchise. Yeah. A lot of people like Def Jam. It was more hardcore. It was like rappers and whatever, and it was hardcore, like street fighting. Def Jam was a pretty doggone good franchise. I liked their games. Their games weren't bad, especially if you could take like the graphics now and remake that game. Yeah. That game would be sick as shit.
Sick.
That game would be sick.
Can't imagine it's NBA Live. They've tried and tried again. And
NBA Street though. That I like.
NBA Street or NFL Street.
Yeah.
Those two games, both of them. Another one where I played hours upon hours.
I don't think many sports games can take the cake from those two.
No.
Like, in the street games,
aside from the actual physical,
the physical ones, but those games were so sick, dude.
Good.
Those were so much fun. And if this franchise, like what EA franchise is that? Like who makes those games? That's not Activision.
It's EA.
Is it EA?
I think it's been I mean, I don't
know. Well,
because
like EA partners with like Activision,
right? No,
there's another one, and
you might be right. It might be.
I think that other one is who made that, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they're also who did the Oh, not Crash Bandicoot. There was another Fox. I don't know. I can't remember. Man, I have played some video games over my lifetime.
But
Holy smokes.
July 20th sounds right about the time that an NCAA
Release date or
football
just-
for maybe the following year, because it's not going to be this upcoming season, college football, way too soon.
So they're just going to announce something? There's no like official release of a new game?
That's my rumor. That's
Okay.
yeah. Not like, oh, on July 20th we've got this game. It sounds like announcement for a revival of some sort.
Okay. All right.
And I have to imagine if it was NBA Street, they would have done it at the beginning of the NBA Finals.
I would imagine too.
So I don't think that one. So
That's true.
I can't imagine it. I can't see any way it's not college football.
Yeah, so they just mention everything but NCAA.
Well, that's what I was saying. It wasn't EA Sports that I was seeing this exact post from, but it was like it had thousands upon thousands of views and retweets, and it seemed pretty legit. But I think the graphic was just throwing us off the scent.
Okay. Well, the jury is out, ladies and gentlemen. Here on episode 73 per Riley Magnuson, you now know that a new video game is coming, or an announcement at the very least, come July 20th from EA Sports. It's in the game. Gotta do that better. EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. Yeah, I can't really do it. Not a good one. Either way, there you go. There you have it. You know it's coming up, coming right around the corner. We'll see what happens.
I'd be happy for a nice consolation prize, even if it isn't that.
Yeah.
So there's some other good ones.
Absolutely terrific games coming out of that franchise.
Anyways.
So we'll see what happens. There you go. Thank you for your sidebar today, Mr. Magnuson. We have been rocking and rolling here. Holy smokes, 2 hours. Hope you guys didn't have much to do here on this beautiful Monday. But let's get this show wrapped up. We've been going long enough. Let's get you guys back about your days. Time for the final segment of the day, and that is my motivation minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick one here for you today. Wanted to tell you a little story. The reason why I'm telling you that story, and something I'd like you guys to kind of think about as you go about your day, your week, into your weekend, and just going forward in your life. The message today is slow down. Slow down. I found myself at Target yesterday. You know, I just had a few little things to pick up.
Okay.
Just some essentials for the house, a little hand soap, a little Q-tips, you know, the toiletries. Right. Nothing, just a little Sunday trip. And I had a little amount of items that I did the self-checkout.
Okay.
You know, standard, you do that, you pop in and out. So I did the self-checkout, and at Target, they typically have, well, almost everywhere now, but mainly at Target, they have somebody standing there that will wipe everything down and then talk to you and be like, hey, this one's open, whatever. Right. Talk to you, hey, how you doing today? Well, at this Target, it's been the same gal over and over and over again, and I've seen her really consistently, and I've stopped once in a while, just kind of, hey, how's it going, whatever, how you doing? But it's dead during COVID. We got masks on, whatever, you know, kind of in passing, how you doing, keep it moving. Well, yesterday, I decided to go out on a limb, say, I'm done with this COVID shit, and I'm going in the store with no mask on. So I did no mask, and mostly everybody in there was no mask. And she didn't have a mask on, and I happened to see her. And so I walked in, and I was going to check out, and I said, hey, how's it going? How are you? I said, you probably don't recognize me without my mask, but it's great to see you in here without no mask. And she recognized my voice. She said, oh, hey, how are you? How's it going? I said, man, if I was any better, I'd be twins. You know me, you know how I put it down. And we just kind of chatted there. We just had a little bit as I'm scanning my stuff. She told me a little bit about her daughter and this. And nothing that matters in the scope of world problems at all. Nothing that even matters in either one of our lives. But took an opportunity, just had a couple of laughs, a couple good vibes, whatever. And the amount of people, it disgusts me, honestly. I can't. The amount of times that she took the opportunity to look somebody in the eye, it's almost getting me to tears how disgusted I am of this, to look somebody in the eye and tell them, hey, how are you doing today? Hope you have a spectacular day. And they roll their eyes and put their heads down and walk even faster than they were before. Just because of maybe how she looks. Yeah, maybe that's a factor too. Maybe I see that and let me take a moment to talk to her. Or because of how she's a little bit more flamboyant. She's a little bit more excited. But that's how you want to be in customer service. Mm-hmm. But the amount of people that I saw speed through that self-checkout couldn't even say hello. Fuck. Oh, I'm doing great. Or how are you doing? Just, hi. How are you? That's simple. Don't even have the time to do that. What the fuck is so important? I'm sorry, but what is so important? That you don't have time to be a human being. We're all humming beans out here on this floating rock in the middle of space. And let me tell you that your problems in your life isn't more important than anyone else's. Anyone else's. Nor is mine more important than yours just because of what I do or who I am. So, a little bit, pull the reins back on that. Please, slow down. When you find yourself in interactions with other people, take the time to just say hi. I hate small talk as much as the next person. But you don't know what that person could be going through. And you don't know that if just by saying hi, that might take them off a ledge. Just by asking them how they are or how they've been doing throughout COVID, that just might turn around their perspective for that day. Because remember, we've all been living through this bullshit. And we've all had a long year and a half. And we all know the current climate of the society we live in. Maybe it's time you start being the change. Maybe it's time you start slowing down and seeing how other people are. And not being so focused on your little bubble and that it's the only thing that matters. Because let me tell you, there's a lot more out there that matters. And if you spend the rest of your life speeding by, not taking those opportunities, you're going to look up one day and wish you did. So, on all that being said, not for me, for you. Not for me, not for Mags, not for anybody but you. Slow down. Take some time to be a human being. Take some time to talk to others when the checkout clerk in the store, the fuel attendant at the gas station, whoever, in passing. Don't just put your head down and walk through and be a human being. Slow down for a minute. There's nothing that is that important that you can't take time to acknowledge somebody else's presence and let them know that you hear them and that, hey, I empathize with you as another human being. I understand. So today, slow down. Slow down and watch all of the good things come your way at a rapid pace. You'll be surprised how well that works. And that does it for my motivation minutes for today.
I love it, my man. You know, everyone's been in those jobs. Everyone has been passing through people with those jobs. Plain and simple, it helps that person's day go by faster. It might not make them, they might not remember that conversation at the end of the day, but I promise you that's going to make their day go by faster. I've never worked at a Target. I've never worked at a retail job like that, but I used to work in an apartment building, and where I worked where people live, and you would think that most people would want to get to know the people who they saw maybe on a daily basis. Similar story. It was literally my job to say hello, and sometimes they literally wouldn't even look me in the eyes. And not even that. Some people literally pretend that I didn't even exist.
Didn't say a word.
And while I like to say that it didn't ruin my day, I don't think it did compared to obviously
subconsciously
getting your ass,
though.
After every time, it's usually like, all right, well, fuck me. Who the fuck are you?
Right. So it doesn't put you in a good mind frame.
No, it doesn't put you in a
help
good
you
mind.
by any means.
Whereas subconsciously, you get a nice smile or even a 10-second like, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Like, it makes your day go by faster. You feel a little bit better. You're happier to be there because chances are that person doesn't want to be, not to put that job down by any means. We've all been jobs like that or are in jobs like that. Most of the time, we don't want to be standing there at the checkout.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It's a lot easier when, we're all cooperative and, saying hello and hi to each other.
Absolutely. And you know how I end the show every day. I mean, right before I left Target, I looked right at her and I said, hey, have a spectacular day unless you have other plans. And she just smiled. She didn't even really know how to process that. Like nobody had ever said anything that kind. She's like, well, I guess not. I'm going to make some fried Oreos. I'm like, hell yeah, sounds great. I'll see you in a while. So just take that time. I know, got me going too. I was like, shit, that's a hell of a plan. I might have to go back into the store and get me some Oreos now. But all that being said, that does it for my motivation minutes. I hope you guys will take the time to slow down and take the time to be a human being, because we all are, and we all have our own issues, and we all need a little shoulder to lean on from time to time. So there you go. There you have it, my friends. My motivation minutes for the day. Partner, in between now and the last time we had spoke, anything come to your mind? Anything we need to close out on here before we get these beautiful people back about their Mondays?
I'm ready to get rocking and rolling.
All right, my friends. Well, as always, as per usual, as every other single day of the week, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, far and wide, from myself and Mags, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Monday, unless you have other plans, which I sure hope you don't. Let's have just a killer start to this week. Get the good vibes rolling now. Let's get the money train on the tracks, and let's cash some tickets. Have a spectacular day, my friends. Peace and love.